Welcome back to TDM, the Dystopian Man. Please like and subscribe. Subscribe and like. Get your legit link in the description as we are in the middle of the crypto bull run and you want to keep your crypto safe. They have a lot of different options for you at the moment. You can have the Ledger Flex, Ledger Stacks, Ledger Nano. Me myself, I'm probably looking to get the Ledger Flex. Thousands of crypto tokens supported, and it is a really good wallet. So at the moment, what we're going to get into today is what's the most degrading things you've ever done for cash. This is what I want people to understand. If you are not financially educated and you are not going to take your finances seriously and at least learn how to manage your finances, not even more so make money, but just manage your finances, then it's amazing to hear what people have done. I mean, let's get into it straight away.
My dad was a drug addict and therefore took us around his drug addict friends and dealers. I was around 7 when they needed to keep me occupied so they could go get high, so his friend promised me a $20 bill if I cleaned out his refrigerator. Of course I agreed. Without even seeing the fridge, I opened up a nasty moldy stinky bug-filled box. It was completely covered inside with spilled soda and potato bugs, maggots.
I mean, that's crazy. $20 for that. That's. I mean, that you can't really blame yourself for that. You was a kid. Do you know what I mean? But one thing I do want to show you is that there's money to be made in everything, right? If you could have a cleaning business and make a substantial amount of money because of that. Oh, there's a bug on the back of my camera. Sorry about that. Like, don't look a gift horse in the mouth. There are some people that are not willing to do anything, but this situation
Black
is sad.
mold, fuzzy mold. It was awful, and I'm fairly certain this would be considered child endangerment today.
That's what I'm
They
saying.
didn't provide me with a mask or gloves, but I wanted that $20, so I got to work. I'm not even sure how long I was working on it, but I got it as clean as I
Kid
could
knows
before
about
my dad told me it was
$20.
time to go. I never got that $20.
Oh
The
no.
next time I saw my dad's friend, I mentioned he owed me money and he laughed and said, "Oh, that's right, I owe you $5. I'll bring it next time, kid." And that's when I learned people who abuse drugs also abuse people. Edit. Thank you, anonymous stranger, for the gold. Frick, this is a sad one. I feel really bad for little you. I met this guy on Craigslist who offered me $100 for a back massage. When I got there,
You see the things people do for money. Offered me. I mean, this is a woman. Let's have a look. Unafraid of the man. I mean, he's probably going to be, but I met a guy on Craigslist who offered me $100 for a back massage. Wow, $100. Like meeting up some random person. Your safety. You see what I'm saying? This is why it's so important to have financial education and to learn how to invest and to learn about the stock markets and to learn about even housing markets or crypto market or bonds, real estate tips, whatever your chosen investment is, gold, silver, like invest in something because otherwise you end up on Craigslist offering guys back massage for 100 quid.
he wanted me to step all over his back, then his neck, then his face. It was a little strange, but he said he had been going to a massage therapist in another town and I
Let me
thought
do.
maybe it's just something they do there. Well, later he contacted me and asked if I'd stomp on his dong for $500. I did it. He had a special table he made for this and
I can't see where this is probably going to end up going, but you see what I mean? Think about it. If you're so broke that you had that you'd accept $500 to do that, you are broke if you're accepting 500. Like it's like your dignity's up sale. Your dignity for sale because you don't take your financial situation seriously.
everything, and some very weird role playing he wanted me to get into. I was fully clothed the whole time, but he wanted me to pretend I was a giant goddess and was squishing him like a bug. It was very freaking weird. Lady, I could explain it to you, but I'm not sure you're the type of woman who wants to know what exactly that was. Drank a paper cup full of Pizza Hut buffalo sauce for $10. Also related, chugged a bare bottle of honey for $30, I believe. Puking honey is one of the most painful experiences of my life. 7/10 would not.
See what I mean? Why would look at that? You could set yourself a trade and know what you're doing and then $30 in 10 minutes, or you can chug a bottle of honey for $30. Like a beer bottle of honey for $30. That's just crazy. That's just mad. Like people don't even think, oh, is this going to send me to the hospital before they do for that for such a paltry amount of money? This is why I keep saying to people, it's so important to learn how to
Not
invest.
recommend. I ate 30 plus Carolina Reaper wings for beer. Was a food comp and you won your weight in beer. Sold it for a few $100 sign. Years back, some guy offered to buy my shoes off me in the street. These shoes were falling apart, split down the heel, holes in the sole, scuffed to heck, being worn by a strung out looking skinny person. Said to me, I'll give you 40 quid for your shoes. I collect shoes. I was actually just down the street from my flat, so I kinda looked at him for a second, said, are you serious? To which he nodded solemnly. I got my shoes off so dang fast.
Now, I don't know what he's gonna say next, but if someone come up to me and offered me $40 for my shoes, I ain't selling them. Yeah, I'm going straight home and seeing how much these things worth.
I wasn't wearing any socks either. This didn't seem to faze him. He immediately handed me £50, took the shoes, and walked off without a further word. I went into my flat, put on another pair of even more fricked up shoes, went back out and spent that 50 quid on booze and some other crap.
Do you see what I mean? That's why people are broke. So so instead of even thinking, I'll go and check how much the shoes are worth, or I'll go and take that 50 quid and invest it in something, and then maybe just try and start to grow a little income. I just go and spend my money on other crap. And this is what most people do, and this is why most people are broke, because you just spend your money on frivolous, absolute nonsense.
TBH, even if I hadn't been right down the street from my flat, I probably would have taken him up on it. I was extremely broke. He definitely fricked those shoes, and for £50, I sincerely hope he enjoyed it. Foot fetishes are a thing. Wouldn't surprise me if you not wearing socks was a bonus for him. Some of them relish the smell. Telemarketing, selling credit card payment insurance to people. Never sign up for it, people. It's a scam. My best friend came home from the bars one night, drunk and hungry. His roommate, not me, was the only one with food. My friend asked for the frozen pizza and was told he can have it if he snorts the roommate's pee. So my friend proceeded to snort a shot glass of his pee. After
For a pizza. So the man snorted pee, actual you like why? Just go home and get something to eat. I feel like, so this is more of a common sense story than being broke. But even if you weren't broke, if you had money in your pocket, you just go and buy a pizza.
puking, he got the pizza, put it in the oven, passed out and awoke to a charred, black, uneaten pizza. This may not count, as the payment was pizza and not money, but I'll never get a better chance to tell that story on here. Jesus freaking Christ. I'm not experienced in things besides everyday air going in my nose, but this sounds absolutely horrendous. I don't know if I could stand by and watch anyone do this. Rubbed grapefruit in my eye for $1. Hurt like heck. Wore contacts at the time. When I
And this is what I mean when I say this teaches you so much, because even about people make the dumbest financial decisions. Rubbed grapefruit in my eye for $1. So do you think this person is any good with their finances? Because the risk to reward ratio. This is why we're talking about this stuff, because there's so much to be spoke about here. The risk to reward ratio of rubbing grapefruit in your eye for £1 is very little. It's probably the most dumbest thing you could
put my
do.
contact back in, it burned all over again. 2 for the price of 1. My brother dared me to chug the whole bottle of maple syrup at our breakfast table for $50. I thought I was going to die. It was so thick and disgusting, it just wouldn't go down. I literally tasted syrup for a week straight after that. You gotta open the throat, and you get no suction power from those thin little chicken lips. Had sex for a McDonald's quarter pounder. As we say in Europe.
Oh, see what I'm saying? Like, it tends to be women that do the nastiest things for money. Like, did the freaker for a McDonald's quarter pounder? That's less than $10. Are you really that down bad? This is what I'm saying. financial education is one of the most important things you will ever learn in your life. I am so happy. And the worst thing about it is, this isn't financial advice, right? But hear me out when I say this. You don't even need a lot of financial education. You just need to understand how the system kind of works in terms of, right, money's going to always go down, assets are always going to go up until they do something to either put the dollar or fiat currency back onto a standard. Now, it really isn't that hard. Like, and then you won't have to do things like have the nookie for a McDonald's quarter pounder. Oh, wow.
You fornicated for a Royale. Worked as a slot attendant for a casino, was groped almost daily and didn't even get to keep my tips. Moved on to another casino as cage cashier, still pretty degrading but out of arm's reach, and I kept my tips. Quit the industry altogether when they started pulling. For a bet I ate a jar of mustard for 20 euros. I hate mustard, but I was so drunk I just scooped the mustard up with my fingers. All I can say is that beer and mustard don't mix well inside your stomach.
Yeah, I can imagine.
All I can say is that beer and mustard don't mix well inside your stomach. Excuse you, Germany, probably. I agreed to get tased for £150.
The man agreed to get tased, so you agreed to get electrocuted for £150. These are some of the dumbest financial decisions, because these are financial decisions, even though they're small. Yeah, fair enough, you're up, but your health, it shouldn't be put on the line for that in this manner, in this way. Like, fair enough if you may be going to like skip out on a meal or something, but getting tased for 150 quid. Like, what if that? Oh, I could.
In my defense, I was most of the way to drunk. Against my defense, I pee myself. If my friends had a taser and I was drunk enough, then I would probably do it for free just to find out what being hit with a taser feels like. I used to write video game reviews. Worst game ever. 10/10 in. I worked for a collection agency. I didn't realize how scummy it was until a few months in.
I worked for a debt collection agency. Nothing scummy about it. A lot of the time, right? These people you think like this, right? They're the victims. They act like victims, and this is something we always say on this channel. And all this stuff you can see is self-inflicted. These people probably act like victims over it. Like they go, "I take," right? You put these things on it because you want someone to react and more than likely feel sorry for you. Like, I worked for a debt recovery agency, and a lot of those people took out those debts and already knew they could not pay it back, but just took out the debt anyway.
Stay too long after that. So let me tell you about the other products Cutco offers. Never again. When I worked at a grocery store, I used to eat peanut butter and jelly sandwiches on break since it was cheap. I'd buy all the ingredients and just sit in the break room and scarf down 3-4 sandwiches.
Let's see what's wrong with that. This is what I mean. I don't think that's degrading. That's just being good with money.
Before returning to work. One day, one of my co-workers saw me scarfing them down and asked if I could eat the whole loaf of sandwiches. I told him I think I could, but asked what he wanted to bet me. He said if I could do it that he'd buy me a whole loaf of bread, jar of peanut butter, and jar of jelly. Naturally I agreed. I managed to eat the whole thing in a little under 30 minutes, but admittedly I was being pretty sparse with my usage of PB&J by the end. When I finished, I felt like walking at my normal speed would make my body explode, so I walked at half speed.
Right, until he was being. I like this one because he was being financially smart until until he offered him. I mean, technically, it is because you save money and you got a hell of a lot of people, but your health is not worth risking.
And took it easy. Admittedly, I did it as a broke college kid because I'd save about $4 by having him buy me a new jar of PB and a new jar of J. This experience didn't stop me from continuing to eat PB&J on future breaks. Also, later that night I took the biggest crap in the world. Somebody in the world takes the biggest crap of the day, every day, and they don't even know it. I think about that a lot. I needed money pretty badly when I was 17. I moved out of my parents' house and couldn't afford to eat or pay rent, and I got laid off my job. I went around house to house asking if they needed their lawn raked. After a couple confused looks, why is a 17-year-old doing this? I prepared a fake clipboard and donation slips for multiple sclerosis, saying I would rake their lawn if they made a $10 to $40 donation. I couldn't believe how many of these I was able to do. BTW, raking lawns is hard work. I never donated the money, I used it to live. But since I lost my mom and sister to Ms, which kinda put me in that situation, I don't feel bad about it. For all you confused folks, this guy's plan was GoFundMe 1980.
I'm gonna stop there because that was that. I don't know how you feel about that one, yeah. I mean, that's kind of bad in my opinion. Like you lied. I mean, it's things that people do for money, but you lied. So you was having a so you know you were going to give it to a charity, and then you didn't. Um, it just shows you how scummy people will get. I mean, we're at 8 minutes now, so we'll stop. But it just shows you how scummy people will get for cash, and it's just so important for you to save and do whatever it is you need to do. You know, most of the time it's just get a job, li- cut down your expenditures, invest the money, wait, and repeat the process, and learn how to avoid tax. That's pretty much the process. Like, once you can start doing that, you won't find yourself in these degrading situations like stomping on a ding dong for $10 or lying about disabilities and all sorts of madness. I didn't want to see what comes up next because we're about to. You already seen. Yeah, we got 68-year-old women out here selling kitty. So yeah. But anyway, but I hope you guys like. So yeah, please like and subscribe. Say get your ledger link in the description, and you can also donate to the channel using Bitcoin, Cardano, and Ethereum to the wallets in the description. Enough love, respect, and peace.